As you can see, I'm surrounded by green. Well, I'm not surrounded by green, but we are sponsored by the good people at Wash and Go today. The lovely people at Wash and Go. What I'm on about, good people. And people often say to me, Mark, is it not hard being a Wash and Go ambassador? And I always have to reply to them like this. Being a rocket engineer is hard. Just ask Elon Musk. Being Manchester United manager is hard. Just ask the 4 managers that have taken over since Sir Alex Ferguson. Being an NHS worker, that's hard. Heroes. That is really hard. But being a shampoo ambassador is as easy as taking a bath. It really is. So next time you're having a really hard day, just run a bath, light some candles, put on some relaxing music and lather up with Wash and Go. Classic Wash and Go. You can pick up your bottle at any good retailer or by hitting the link in the description and getting it delivered straight to your door. Thanks very much to Wash and Go for supporting the United Stand. Now let's move on with the show. And remember, Wash and Go, it's invisible. It's invisible.
No.
Didn't play till the November, I think. So it really was that, you can't win anything with kids, which, obviously works. But the 95 incident at Selhurst Park, we've heard lots of things about this, but obviously we touched on it a couple of weeks ago that you actually got charged yourself. So sort of tell us the story of what happened from your point of view all the way through to sort of like after the dressing room and everything. Was it bubbling up in that sort of game, and could you see it come in? Because it was unprecedented evening that in Premier League football. If that happened now, God knows what would happen.
No, I know. You know what? It wasn't even a nasty game. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a game where you'd be playing Wimbledon and you've got Vinnie Jones and Fashion and all those people and Wise in that. It wasn't that type of game, and we never really had those games anyway against Palace. They were quite, friendly games. There was no kind of big rivalry between us anyway. And it was Richard Shaw, wasn't it? He kicked, wasn't it? If I remember rightly. And I don't know why it actually happened. I really, really don't. All I know is that he fouls Richard Shaw. He gets sent off, and I'm facing at Palace's goal because I'm thinking we could carry on with the game. And the next minute, I hear this commotion, and I turn around and I'd seen Eric kick someone in the crowd, and I thought, what the fuck's going on here? All right, so prior to that, he's walking along the touchline. So obviously, like any other player, you get sent off, you walk along the touchline, there's no problems. In the change rooms, we're down to 10 men, let's crack on. So you don't really start standing there looking at him because you don't expect anything to happen. That's why I turned my face and said, right, let's focus on the game. Next minute, I'm sitting in the crowd, kicking some bloke, jumping the thing, punching some bloke. So I thought, oh my God. So we've all turned to run over there. I think we dragged Eric out the stands and he walked him down into the thing. But as we've got there, all the Man United lads and Palace lads, because they got a bit involved, all the Palace fans came running down towards the Man United players. So we're all like shouting, effing and blinding and like pushing each other, X, Y and Z. Got calmed down, carried on with the game. And when you're playing that game, after that event, there was still a disbelief. When you're trying to concentrate on the game, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, did that really happen? Did that really happen? You get the commotions, you get all that, you know what I mean? But the fact that Eric actually went into the crowd and come through, kick someone and hit someone, you think, wow. In a perverse kind of way, I think, when you listen to the abuse and so on that he got from this person, about his mother and all that type of stuff, and people chucking tea on him, I think he did whatever player wanted to do.
Yeah.
There's been so many times where I've just wanted to jump into a stadium and into the fans and just, someone who's like racially abusing you or something like that, and just give them a good hiding, so many times. But something in your mind says, no, you're a professional footballer, you're a role model to a lot of kids. They look up to you. The last thing you want to do is that. But if you ask 90% players, you know, they'd probably say, you know, they wish they could have done that, you know. And the person who did it, he deserved it anyway. So game carried on. So we finished the game, and I can't remember what the result was. You know, it was all about Cantona. I can't remember what the result was.
I think we either lost or drew. I don't think we won.
Yeah.
You know, somebody will know in the chat, but I think we lost or drew.
No one thinks about what the result was. Always think of the Cantona situation. So we get into the change room, and you know, Eric's sitting there with his top off, and
he was still in the dressing room then when you went in there, yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously Alex came in, and it was just like a somber feeling. It was just like just being to a funeral. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it was like. We'd been to a funeral, and you could sense that everybody wanted to say something. You know, did you see what happened there? Everyone was to talk about, but Fergie says no one says a word. No one says nothing. And we just must have sat there for about 10 minutes. Then all of a sudden, Eric went out, the gaffer went out, and Sir Alex went out. We were all getting showered, and all of a sudden, as soon as the gaffer went out, we all started saying, "Oh, did you fucking see that? God, that's madness, isn't it?" All that stuff. What happened? So we're not like little kids in the playground. So then I got back in, put my towel back, dried myself up, went to put my tracksuit on, and then Sir Alex comes in and goes, "Paul, police want to see you." I'm thinking, well, what for? So I was looking that way. I didn't, you know what I mean? They said, "Oh, someone's come and complained that you threw a punch and hit him in the face." So, and you know something, Mark? You know, when you're kind of in that moment, and I said when all the crowd was there and everyone was pushing and shoving, and the crowd came submerging down to the front of the stand, you kind of like, you doubt yourself, you know? You kind of say,
did I do it? Yeah.
Yeah, did I not do it? So I said to Sir Alex, the gaffer, I said, "Did anybody? I want to know. If I said I'll have cuts on my fingers or bruise on my hand would be sore." So I had to go and see the police, explain what happened. That was it. A couple of days later, Sir Alex said, "Oh, they're charging with the same offence as Eric Cantona." So
yeah, you definitely didn't fly in there, Paul. I remember that.
No, I'm thinking. I think they can't charge with this. I just felt it was just like it was madness, you know what I mean? But the geezer made a report to the police, so we ended up going to court on the basis of that. And you know, I remember the night before. It was one of the best nights of my life. Me and Eric went for dinner. We stayed in the Croydon Park Hotel, and we went for dinner that night. And there was press everywhere, you know, and ended up getting in the car. My agent had a driver who drink a car, went somewhere nice and quiet. And then Eric goes, "Oh, shall we go to a nightclub?" I said, "Eric," I said, "we're in court tomorrow at 9:30. I said, "Come on, let's go to a nightclub. You know, if we go down, at least we had a good night tonight." So we ended up going to a nightclub, you talked about that, in London, called Emporium. And we had there, we were drinking wine, and all of a sudden Prince was playing in the nightclub. I remember it so well. Prince was playing. He was doing a half little solo gig. So I ended up staying there till about 1:30 in the morning. When we got back to the hotel, we had adjoining rooms. So he could get into my room, I can get into his room. So said, "Right, Eric, let's get to bed. Big day tomorrow." And that was it. 8:30, woke up, banged on his door, opened the door, and he's standing there. I've got a suit tie on, right up to the top, you know what I mean? He's standing there, suit on, buttons down through his chest. I said, "Eric," I said, "you can't go court like that." I said, "Magistrate sees you like that, she's going to think." And he said, "No, don't worry, Paul. I'm Eric Cantona. This is how I dress. This is how I dress." Honestly, we got into court, and you know, when he just pleaded guilty, and you know, when he got custodial sentence, obviously, which he didn't serve.
Yeah.
From the expression that when he went in there, it didn't change when I even said that. He didn't even flinch. You know, if it'd been me, I'd have been crying and saying, "Oh, where's my wife? And I don't want to go down," all that. Like, he did not flinch, Marky boy. Honestly, and I thought, wow, nothing can